Is Iran then bracing for a potential counterattack from Israel?
Morning, Tom. I think publicly, and that's the important caveat, but publicly, no. There may be plenty of organisation going on behind the scenes, but I think Iran is very keen to present a picture where life is continuing as normal in Iran. That's, of course, very unlike what we saw sort of in the past week in Israel with these mobilizations and disruptions to normal life. So far, the only disruption we've seen is cancellation of flights yesterday in many of Iran's major airports, but that's been now lifted. So the message is one of normalization, at least publicly, as I say. At the same time, I think you heard the threat there from the military official that if Israel does respond aggressively, Iran is sending a message that it will be prepared to attack again, and it's keen to sort of strike that balance and say this is done, but we are prepared to come back at you if we're forced to.
And Patrick, of course, it signals to many that the conflict, the tensions between Iran and Israel, long running as they have been, have come out of the shadows then. What does it mean, though, for the shadow war that had been prior to this weekend and the tensions between these two sides?
That's right. There were some really interesting comments from Iranian military and government officials yesterday where they said, for example, this strike marks a new equation in that relationship, or it's the end of what they call strategic patience, where they've been willing to sort of let Israeli attacks slide and strike back when it suits them rather than being rushed into things. The message now is that whenever whenever Israel does strike Iran, does strike Iranians, strikes its assets, its interests, be that in Iran or abroad, that Iran will be willing to strike Israel directly in the way that we saw over the weekend. That's new. That dynamic is new. And I think that makes for a much more fragile dynamic in that shadow war, where previously incidents that have been perhaps allowed to let slide, or they've been de-escalated through revenge much further down the line, Iran is signaling publicly, at least, that from now on that won't be the case. The response will be immediate and it will be direct.